Now, it's a $6 billion a year industry, but how do you know that you're in safe hands when it comes to your own? President of the New Zealand Association of Registered Beauty Therapists, Judy West, is back with Nail Salon do's and don'ts. Morning, Judy.
Good morning.
Firstly, I must ask you, what can you expect when you go into a registered clinic?
Well, what you should expect is that you'd first of all see our certificate of registration from the association, and also you'd see the qualifications of the people that are actually working in that salon, and also in Auckland particularly a hygiene, health and hygiene certificate which would be given out by the council or the Auckland Council. And then you'd really look for something like, do these people do consultations before they actually do the treatment?
Or do they just get stuck in straight to your nails?
Yeah.
So look on the walls first, see what certificates are up there.
Yeah.
And they should have a member. You've got a certificate there, so they should have a certificate of membership to the registered beauty therapist. Yes. Okay, that's a good starting point, because I'd like to know when I go in that I'm going somewhere that's reputable. Yes. And what sort of things should they be using? What sort of equipment should we expect to see?
Most people in a professional beauty therapist would use disposables of some sort, like these here. You know, they're used once and then they're thrown away. If it was something like this where you've got a nail clippers and scissors, then they would be washed in hot soapy water and then put into some form of hospital type disinfectant, dried, and then put into a pouch and basically put into a UV cabinet, so that the next person coming along knows that, you know, that's been done and they wouldn't be using those again.
And that should be happening between every single client.
Yes. You see, the difficulty, people don't realise how easy it is to pick infections up in these sort of places.
And it is, isn't it, little nicks around the nail. We shouldn't look at my nails because they're looking quite appalling at the moment. Not through anyone's fault but my own, but they're not looking good.
Most of our own fault.
But little nicks around the nail bed can cause all sorts of nasty infections, can't they?
See, the trouble is it goes back to, does the operator follow the hygiene instructions of washing their hands? And when you're actually, before you start the procedure, you have a pair of gloves, disposable gloves. So you will put the gloves on before you actually start, and then do the consultation on the hand, so that if something like a nick happens, which it shouldn't happen, at least then you've given the client the opportunity to have it as hygiene as possible. And those gloves are then, you know, put into a disposable bin after that. And the same as with the bowl, you know, the basins and things where you use, they should have liners in them so that they are then...
Gosh,
I mean, people just don't realise. Like, you go into a foot bar and you just put your foot in the bar and you think, has this been cleaned?
Well, I go down and I look around and I think if it looks vaguely clean, then it's all good. But that's not the case at all.
It's not really the case, no.
All of these things here that you're talking about, all these nail files and things, they should be using those just on me and then throwing them out?
Yes. Not these steel ones here.
No, obviously not.
But these disposable. And look, if they're not using them, if they're not disposable, as I said, they need to be cleaned with hot water, brush, you know, get the ecremina off it and then put into a hospital-type disinfectant.
And that's obviously a hard thing for a client to monitor. How do we spot an unqualified nail bar?
If you walk into a bar and you may see the Auckland certificate up that says they've got a standard of hygiene, but if they haven't also got their certificates as to how well they're trained, how do you know? And this is the difficulty, is that, you know, we think it's just a manicure, but actually that manicure is really quite in-depth training that they need to know to prevent this sort of thing.
Gosh, so if I'm worried that I've got an infection or something, A, how do I know? What are the signs? And B, who do I go and complain to?
Well, if you've had your cuticles clipped often and you do get a nick there, you may go away because it's just a little pinpoint of blood that has happened. But in a day, you may all of a sudden get a large swelling all around the nail edge of the nail, and it starts to throb, and then you get pus. And so, you know, it's that quick it can happen, and people just don't realise that if they aren't aware of what's going on in that salon, that it could reoccur time and time again.
And those things can go on to affect other parts of the body too, can't they?
Well, the trouble is, if it's very virulent, it can certainly travel and infect, you know, other parts.
Okay, so I've got an issue. Who do I complain to?
Well, of course, the New Zealand Registered Beauty Therapists, definitely. We can sort these complaints out. It's not that we want to close people down. We just want to create a standard for them to follow, so that all of us are doing the same thing, and we're not all, you know, jumping around and different standards, that we're actually all protecting the public against these sort of people.
And we can go and get our nails done. We're doing it in complete confidence.
You can definitely do that.
Well, that
now.
I think will make everyone very happy. It has been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Slightly
It's been
scary.
a pleasure,
And I've wanted to go like this my whole time too, because my nails are looking so appalling at the moment.
Well, your face is beautiful, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mel.
You can come back again.
Thank
I like
you.
having you here.
It's lovely being here too.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Judy.
you, Mel.
Great to have you back on the cafe with some very excellent advice too. Now, if you'd like more information, head along to the association's website, which is beautynz.org.nz.